Okay. Hi, Eric. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. I know typically we say it snows on Wednesday nights, but today it rained. It is precip. I was close. It's close. We're getting better. I don't know. What a crazy winter. But thank you all for coming. For those of you that don't know, my name is Jen Mason. And sound system okay? Jen Mason. I'm the executive director of the Colorado Snow Sports Museum. Whoop, whoop. So thank you all for being here. Yay! Thank you all for being here. Tonight, first, I'm going to thank all the volunteers. There goes little Mary Jo. Mary Jo broke her clavicle 5 days ago, and 2 days later, she was here volunteering. And then we have Moses and Kristen and Cindy Clement and everybody. So thank you, thank you. And then don't forget, after the program tonight, if you are still looking for some more food and drink, you can go to Manor Vale, where you're staying, the Fitz Lounge. They will offer you a free complimentary beverage, either a beer or a house glass of wine. So please go over there if you're interested tonight after the program. And of course, I always love to thank the town of Vale. So if it wasn't for the town of Vale, we would not be in the town. We would not be here. We are the Colorado Snow Sports Museum, but we are lucky enough that the town appreciates us and that they give us this space for almost nothing. So thank you to the town of Vale taxpayers and the town of Vale. And we just secured a new lease until 2042. I know. So yay. I was a little worried. I was like, oh my God, like sweating when I walked in. But luckily we did it. So that was good. That was good. I'm super excited. And then we have a couple more of these, but next week is Tracy Metcalf. Next Wednesday is Tracy Metcalf summiting the highest peaks. She's a local physician, mountaineer woman. She literally has summited everything. Like you name it, she did it. She's an incredible human, very kind, and she's just amazing. So we are going to hear from Tracy's story and what's going on there. And she's the first American woman to summit all of the 8,000 meter peaks. Yeah. And the 7 summits. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, no, it is quite the feat, and I just love that she's such a wonderful human. On top of all of that, and you'll be able to hear her, yes, which is great. So, and I also want to thank. We have a wonderful staff here at the museum, Andrew and Ashley and Whitney and everybody. So, and then the biggest thing is thank you to everyone who's a member. Everybody who's in this room that's a member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have some new members here. We have some people that have been members for a long time, but your membership really helps us keep the doors open and free for all the events that we do. So, but tonight is going to be really fun. I'm super excited. We're very excited. No, I've been more excited, yes. So I would like to introduce you to Jeff Blumenfeld. He is a lifelong skier, vice president of International Skiing History Association. He's an author. He lives in Boulder. He has 2 grandchildren that he has introduced to the sport of skiing. They are both skiing. So the tradition in their family lives on, which is incredible. And he is accompanied tonight by his very, very cute wife, Joan. And incidentally, her father was in the 10th Mountain Division. I am telling you and not kidding you, there's not a thread of ski industry that does not go back to the 10th Mountain Division. It all goes back to them. It's just this crazy line. There's pretty much every single story that you hear goes right back to the 10th Mountain Division. So we're super excited to have Jeff here tonight. And because of his association, you all are getting free skiing history magazines. They're on your chair. And so I'm going to give Jeff the microphone, and then we're really excited tonight. And if you love this program and you want to share it with someone, we will put it on our YouTube channel so you can watch it and then share it with the world. So thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jen, and thanks so much to the museum for hosting this talk by the International Skiing History Association. Yes, I am a lifelong skier. I began at Bel Air in New York State in 1957. I know I look much younger than that. And I must regret that I didn't start counting my ski days until 1972. I've counted every day on the slope since 1970. Pilots count their hours, scuba divers count their dives, so why wouldn't a skier count and log their ski days? And I like to be able to say that when I look back at my logbook, which was started like when I was like 12 or so, scribbling handwriting, I have over 1,000 days on the hill over the period of time of over 50 years. So I like to think that I've spent 3 years of my life actually skiing. So that's the ski log. And most of you, it's too late to start. I'm so sorry. The International Skiing History Association, first, it was founded in 1991 by a man named Mason Beakley, who has one of the largest collections of ski books and art, and is located in storage in Denver. The mission, we want to preserve and advance the knowledge of ski history and increase public awareness of the heritage of the sport. Golf has a history, tennis has a history, and we certainly do have a history. We have 2,000 members worldwide. We come out with this bi-monthly magazine, which I'm proud to write for. And we recently started, stay with me here, ISMA, the International Snow Sports Museum Association. And we meet once a month online with 48 other snow sports museums around the world. So we had a seminar just last week on how to boost revenue from your ski shop. Those are the kind of titles. Those are the kind of subjects that we pursue on. Also, skiinghistory.org. I welcome you all to log on. It's the world's most visited website for information on the sport. Did you know that if you go to Google Books and you Google skiing magazine or ski or snow country magazines, you can access the archives and it's searchable. And I use it all the time to write some of the history stories. We have annual awards and we have an annual gathering coming up in Snowbird in April. So we do a lot. But tonight, I'm going to focus on how Hollywood goes loony for skiing, must-ski TV, movies that just can't quit covering the sport of skiing, not always great, bygone gizmos, and I walk around here, I see some of those gizmos, entrepreneurs, ski equipment manufacturers, and that's what I call get-rich-slow schemes, and then the agony. But first, a little bit about myself. I grew up in a small town in the New York State Catskills, right next to Barry Levinson, who was my neighbor. We actually had a ski slope between our two houses, and I babysat for him once. One and done. That was it. First time. I think I got 50 cents an hour, which was a lot. Yeah, that was pretty good. Not much happened in Monticello, New York, 90 miles from New York, except in 1969, when the world came to the Woodstock Festival, 10 miles away. So we all have lots of favorite stories about that. But the area was best known as the Borscht Belt. It's where Jews who were discriminated against and couldn't go on vacation in Palm Beach, they created their own resort area, and it was called the Borscht Belt. And at that time, there were 538 hotels, 50,000 bungalows, which were like cabins, which were not very nice. But at that time, you didn't have air conditioning when you lived in New York. You had to get to the mountains because the mountains were cooler. So in the 40s to 60s, this is the Concord Hotel, which is all gone. Back then, you used to get your name in the paper just because you went skiing, because you were doing this glamorous outdoors adventurous sport. So this was Big Vanilla at Davos. That's the name. It was located in the Borscht Belt, which we like to call the Sour Cream Sierras. And there I am, third from left at the age of 12. Funny, I thought that big resort in Switzerland was named after this place. I just, I wasn't, I just realized that kind of afterwards. And my dad's on the far right. He's still with us at the age of 98, and he lives down in Key Largo. So he's he's uh, he's not skiing anymore. And what's this? No, don't pop this up. Oh, okay, hang on. We don't want that. We want this. He used to he used to brag. He bought hankies before anybody else, and of course, what he bragged was "you lace while I race." And I don't know what I was doing because I had these gloves on, which kind of looked like Teddy, come here. Um, Another publicity photograph because we knew the head of the ski patrol at Big Vanilla at Davos. And there I am at the age of 12. And it wasn't until years later that I realized that the head of the ski patrol was in his street shoes and his bear traps. And so this picture appeared in, I guess I was 9 then. You got publicity just because you went skiing. That's how kind of glamorous the sport was back then. And of course, he was just posing in his street shoes at that time. So one of the stories that I'm writing about is the story of Holiday Mountain. Started in 1957. This was Barry and I. This It was neither a holiday nor a mountain, but it was ours, as I quote Barry in the story. And they're just putting in $10 million into this. And this is what the sports needs. It needs these feeder ski areas. And feeder ski areas, next week they have a special. If you show up with a season's pass to any ski resort anywhere in the world, you get to ski free. I mean, that's the kind of innovation that I really applaud. So in the March, April issue is my story about Holiday Mountain. So I went to Syracuse. I became a writer. My 2 favorite interviews was Rod Serling of the Twilight Zone and Max Yasker, on whose farm the Woodstock Festival was held. So these are the 2 most memorable stories that I really am proud of. World's most famous ski cartoon, 1940. You've all seen this image. It replays over and over and over again. And I just have it here because this is how skiing used to be depicted. It was, again, this glamorous, considered wealthy, elite sport. But the kind of cartoons that I grew up on was not the New Yorker. The kind were the animated cartoons. So I spent a lot of time watching cartoons, and just for research, of course. Anytime skiing appeared in a cartoon, it was a joke. It had to be a joke. It was all about creating laughs. It wasn't very serious. It didn't do much for it. One of the first early cartoons was Goofy in 1941. This is the origination of the Goofy holler, which I won't attempt to replicate, but they actually hired a professional yodeler to do the Goofy holler. So part of the shtick in that would be he'd try to put his pants on while he was in his skis, and he tried to put all kinds of sight gags with this. But this went over big in 1941. So cartoons suspended the law of physics. Popeye crashes off cliffs. The Pink Panther gets engulfed in a snowball. And whenever they got into trouble, they took out a stick of dynamite. And no cartoon characters, of course, are ever hurt. They pop right up like one of those clown bop bags. The Flintstones had an episode of skiing. These are prehistoric people who are skiing. The Jetsons also had their bare feet. That's right. Bare feet and rope. That's it. That's all you need. And baskets, pole baskets. And of course, the Jetsons had their jet skis. In this episode of Popeye had to out ski gorgeous Pierre, who was trying to get olive oil to kiss him. And so Popeye had to out ski him with the help of spinach, of course. How else would you ever do it? Tom and Jerry, it was called the Ski Bunny episode, 1975, where the kitten dresses as a bunny to go after the Tom character's girlfriend. So, and skiing back then wasn't politically correct. I mean, whoever said that it was correct to laugh at a blind guy? But that was Mr. Magoo, and it was one of the most successful cartoons out there. And he couldn't see, and that was the basis of Mr. Magoo cartoons. But my favorite all-time sight gag in the history of cartoons, or at least since I started watching them, is this. This is what we need during a low snow year. We need this. If this was in Fast and Furious, 1949, they came out with this cartoon. We all need one. And of course, where would you order it from? No other place but Acme Corporation. Now, Acme's got 2 pair of skis on the left and the right, whatever you need. Sticks of dynamite, that's where you go. That's where you go. Forget going to REI. You just mail order it by Acme. So that's cartoons, and that's animated cartoons. And then I thought, well, let's take a look at TV. Again, skiing is the butt of jokes in most episodes on TV whenever you see skiing. But I had to make sure for myself. So I went to the Paley Center. I spent a day there. This is the Museum of Television and Radio. Went into a giant room, set me up at a terminal, and I was calling up any show that I could find with skiing in it. And boy did I find a few things. If you'll all turn off your phones, that would be great. So at Syracuse University, my alma mater, this gentleman specializes in television and radio culture. And I asked him about skiing. He says, I can think of nothing better than skiing as a basis for physical comedy. It's an environment waiting for slapstick. Skiing is the equivalent of slipping on a banana peel. I mean, that says it right there. Perfect, right? Robert Thompson. And of course, before I could start watching these shows from the 60s, when my parents went out on the weekend, of course, this is what we had, TV dinner. I show this to a college group in TV and radio, and I showed this to them. They can't believe their eyes. They can't believe what this possibly could be. 98 cents, or maybe it's 89 cents. But look, it's a full complete meal. Not only that, then they went Polynesian, right? Not only that, I don't know how they kept that, whatever that is in the upper right, I don't know how they kept that from burning up. And then my favorite was this. You had to have, right, for 99 cents, how could you? So this is what you ate while you watched all these ski TV shows. You had to have this. And that was your dessert. There's your starch. There's your white meat, surprise turkey, and whatever that is in the upper right. So I did some research, and the first instance that I could find on television was this show. The basis of this show is a rich banker by the name of Cosmo Topper, played by Leo G. Carroll, buys a home in Los Angeles, previously owned by another couple. They were rich, and they died in a skiing accident. I don't want to ruin it for you. Of course, spoiler, they died in a skiing accident. And it was played by Ann Jeffries and Robert Sterling. They were husband and wife in real time. And the co-star of this was Neil, the alcoholic St. Bernard. So the alcoholic St. Bernard, whoever watched this show, whoever, okay, but there you go. The alcoholic St. Bernard became a running joke for this. And let's see if we can get the technology to work here.
Well, for heaven's sake. dog. Give him an aspirin. Give him an aspirin? He's supposed to be saving us. Dog, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Don't shout at him. You'll give him a headache. I'll give him a headache, all right. What do you mean coming on a job loaded to the gills? I've got a good mind to report you to... What's what? That's all. I still say it can't happen. Oh, no? Then what are we doing here under 300 tons of snow? I don't know what we're doing. Let's try and get out of here.
So this was from the pilot. So you had to kill the main characters, and then they turn into ghosts. And the sight gag during the rest of the episodes was you'd see a bowl of alcohol and it would disappear because the dog was also a ghost. Now, you saw that he had a keg of whiskey underneath. Okay, that was the keg of whiskey. That was a myth. That was a myth. That was a myth started by this painting from 1820. This painting was called Alpine Mastiffs Reanimating a Distressed Traveler. Number one, as many of you know, whiskey lowers your core body temperature, so it's hardly a way to rescue somebody, is by to give them alcohol. And the second thing is, it was said that how can the dog scent the existence of a victim if he's got wafts of whiskey coming up from beneath his neck? So that was a myth, and I'm very happy today to misspell that misconception. Although it's fun to see a Saint Bernard with a cask underneath. So now we move forward to one of the most famous episodes of the Dick Van Dyke Show. In this episode, and this dates back to 1963, called Don't Trip Over the Mountain, Rob Petrie, the character, wants to go skiing in the worst possible way. Laura Petrie doesn't want him to go because he's going to get hurt. Well, he goes skiing, and this is the scene when he comes back. Here's the scene. So we had occasional episodes where somebody goes skiing. Uh, Nothing ever goes right, of course, and that's part of the comedy for this. But the single worst thing for the sport of skiing happened in 1971. 1971. 1971. Here's Lucy. Here's Lucy. Lucille Ball breaks her leg. She breaks her leg. She really does break her leg. It's a bad break for Lucille Ball, and skiing 1971. So they worked it into the script. She broke her leg independent of any kind of filming for TV, and they worked it into the episode. And here's Lucille Ball in the hospital bed, and I'll show you this quick clip here.
Oh boy. Oh. Up we go. Lucy! Lucille, how are you? Well, Harry, I was feeling okay, but if you bring me flowers and kiss me, I guess I'm sicker than I thought. Just tell me, how did it happen? Well, it was dumb, really. I was skiing down Fanny Hill. Fanny Hill? That's the beginner's slope up at Snowmass. I wasn't going very fast, and I just turned to gawk at the beautiful scenery, and I just sort of fell down. My goodness. Just like... Mother! Baby! Oh, am I glad to see you. Oh, Mom, I was so upset when I heard the news. How did it happen? Well, honey, I was skiing down this icy slope, streaking along. You know the way I do. Well, I swerved to avoid another skier who had fallen, and I just came crashing down. Oh, that sounds frightening. It was. Yeah, it gets more frightening the second time you hear it. Baby, does it hurt very much? Well, oh, oh, thank you. And look what I brought you. A salami. With all my love. Oh, thank you. That's a salami without garlic.
So skiing was not only used to convey comedy, but it was also used to convey mystery and intrigue. Late 70s, what TV episode was shot here in Vail? Oh God, I can't. And Heart to Heart too? Was it? Yeah. Well, I don't have that one, but I do have Charlie's Angel, and it is as hokey as it gets. Let's see if you recognize. The exteriors were shot in Vail, and interiors were shot in Hollywood. And this is mystery, intrigue, and danger, and it is hokey. And here we go.
Kelly, the driver. Get out of the car.
Ooh. Oh. 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 There he goes. Anybody recognize the background scenes? I know it's pretty quick. Huh? You do? Yeah. Top of Bridge Street. Look at that. One more. Of course, you can't talk about comedy on TV without talking about Cheers. And there was an episode that had a ski theme to it. And this was called Snow Job, and it dates back to 1984. And here we go.
Oh, I just got a call from my Aunt Alice this afternoon. Uncle Nathan died yesterday. So sorry. Oh, what a shame, Sam. Was he sick long? No, Coach. He was Hit by bus.
Well, that's comforting.
Oh, so I'm gonna have to leave right now. I gotta go to Vermont. Funeral's up there.
You said Mom?
Yeah.
My condolences in your time of sorrow.
Oh, thank you, Carl.
I was talking to Diane. Where in Vermont?
Stowe.
What a ski resort?
I think there is one nearby there. Yeah. Hey, but I gotta leave right now. I'm gonna be gone a couple of days, honey. Oh, this whole thing,
Sam, you must have been very close with your uncle.
oh yeah, very, very close.
Well, I think I should come along. I should be with you at a time like this.
No, I don't. I think it's too depressing for you, honey. Anyway, I'm gonna be staying in my aunt's house, and she doesn't believe in unmarried couples sleeping together.
You don't have to sleep together.
Well, why would you be coming then?
So we've talked about what we've talked about. We've talked about cartoons, animated cartoons. We've talked about animated cartoons. We've talked about TV shows. That brings us to movies. Why Hollywood can't quit skiing. They turn to skiing to convey glamour, as in the movie Charade, or as they say, Charade. Wealth, The House of Gucci. If any of you saw that movie, well, very wealthy, and they go skiing. It's a slippery version of a car chase. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stand over here. The James Bond movies, and the hilarity, as I call it, Dumb and Dumber. And one of the early German filmmakers was Arnold Fanck, who created one of the first ever ski films. It's a 65-minute silent called Wonder of Skis, 1920. I thought this was pretty clever how they rigged up this. One of the most famous ski films was actually a promotion for a ski resort. And of course, it was Sun Valley Serenade, which to this date still plays in Sun Valley on the closed circuit TV. And this was the story which had Boulder's Glenn Miller, went to see you, Sonia Henney, and John Payne. And it celebrates the glamour of Sun Valley. And as I say, the film still resonates for people out there. Of course, the Pink Panther, a series of not only movies but cartoons featuring the panther. But this Pink Panther is most known for the outfits. Really set the tone for ski apparel and ski outfits. In fact, this is a headline from Vogue: "The Pink Panther, the ultimate in après-ski style." So, from Pink Panther in 1963, we see the first music video. One of the early music videos was "Help," a forerunner. And the story goes on this, is they just took these never-evers, popped them on the top of the mountain and said, "Have a go at it, guys." And I researched this quote from George Harrison. They took us to Austria. They took us up a mountain, gave us our boots. Nobody even laced up. They gave us our skis and said, "Turn over, take one, action." And they gave them a push. So we have on display here a snowboard, one of the early snowboards that was used in cinema history. And that snowboard was used in one of the James Bond films. In this case, I was enamored by this one, For Your Eyes Only. This has the scene where the stunt double, John Eves, who is about 72 years old, who I interviewed for the story, John Eves says it looks a lot dangerous than it really is. I said, "John, come on. I'm a reporter. Give me a break here. How could it look less? Well, there are no trees. It's a confined track. And I did some runs in heavy padding, and there's a good outrun for it." And he said it actually wasn't that hard to do. And so there he is. He says it's a perception of risk. It's not that dangerous. There are no trees. But one of my favorite scenes in one of the Bond movies, and that movie was um, that film was on Her Majesty's Secret Service. When the bad guy falls into a snowplow blower, and has one of the greatest lines in the entire series of James Bond. So here's the scene. Viewers' discretion is advised. Here's the scene, and he said he had a lot of guts. I thought that was pretty good. Okay, now when you're a famous star, um, this spring I'm doing a story on skiing presidents, and one of the things I researched when Jerry Ford came here, he was very upset that you had these reporters sitting in bars drinking while Jerry's up on the mountain, and all they want is a shot of Jerry falling down. That's all they wanted. They weren't skiing. He was skiing. He was one of our most athletic presidents, and he's up there, and that's all they wanted was a shot of him falling. And then Chevy Chase, Saturday Night Live, he became this image of the bumbling president, whereas in reality, he was quite athletic. Well, if you're Adam Driver and you're appearing in House of Gucci, the paparazzi stalked him just to get this money shot, the money shot. And he fell to the delight of Paps, and this appeared in the New York Post, and that's what happens. Too bad. If you're a celebrity, I'm sorry. You're going to be stalked until you make that mistake, and that's the story. And so that's what they did here. Now we come to the favorite part of my talk. Oh, I love this part. Bygone gizmos. And this is the museum of bygone gizmos, if there ever was one. So to research his story, I set out for vintage ski world. It's in Carbondale, 800 pairs of skis, hundreds of boots, poles, and goggles. And I spoke to Richard Allen, who some of you may know, and he was proudly showing a pair of magnesium boots. And I said, Richard, don't they use magnesium in flares? He goes, yeah, well, it's the same material. I said, great. If you get lost, you just light your boots up and you can get rescued. Around the corner here, you'll see rope toe grippers. Many of you may remember skiing with rope toes where you had to dig it out of this trench and you had to hold it like this, and you have bits of rope under your armpits from this. And if you're a little kid, you're hanging from the rope toe. Well, you have this gripper, but they weren't that easy to use. First of all, complicated patent. The rope toe gripper, it's new. They promoted it at Bosquet in New England, and you had to, fasten it. You needed instructions for this device, but you didn't need instructions necessarily for this one. Now, here's the theory for this. I'm going to pour lighter's fluid into these Johnny Warmers, and you're going to have a forest fire in your left pocket. Your right pocket will be as cold as ever, but your left pocket will be on fire, melting the vinyl, melting the nylon of your ski jacket. And that was the John E. Warmer. And there you go, early 60s. They still sell it. And I think it's used more by hunters today. How about this? Way before iPhones, the skidometer. This is simple. You wear it on your sleeve, and the wind pushes this little device. It's got to be accurate, right? It's 1972. It's got to be accurate. Got to be accurate. So I'm at the Ski Industries America show, and John, I wonder if you had ever seen this next ski product that came and went. This is a product called Sneeze. It's skiing you do on your knees. Now you're shaking your head. You've seen this? I can't find this anywhere. You've seen it. What's the theory?
Well, you're closer to the ground.
Good. And that's it?
And you lean. You can't really steer
Oh, it makes sense to me. Sneeze. Okay. fiberglass skis. Their motto was, I dig graves. It sounds like you've got 2 plastic dishes on your feet when you use this ski. And it's glass. It's real glass, not the fake kind of glass. And these are grave skis. I don't know. Do you have any graves here? You don't dig graves. Oh, okay. I gave this to a friend of mine. He put it next to his wood-burning stove. They're not fireproof. That's one thing about that I need to share with you. Next bygone product. No, I haven't opened this, so there might be some mouse droppings coming out, but okay. This, how could you go wrong? Okay. There you go. You put one on each pole and you float down the mountainside. So I tried it once. You don't see many of these today. I tried it once. And it may be because people on the lift are going, hey, butterfly man. And you're all watching you. And you know what it is when you ski really good beneath a chairlift? What do you call that? Ski really good beneath a chair. You're showboating. I don't know if that's just a term. Yes, they did work. But don't get them all tangled up on the chairlift, or you might be hanging from them. Yeah, they did work. You can go. You see straight liners today, and I hate them. People they think they're sledding. They're not skiing. Their feet are together, and they're going as fast as they can. When they get to the bottom of the hill, pull out the iPhone and say, how fast you go? 40? I went 50. Go back up and try to do 60. Straight lining. But you can straight line with this thing because it slows you down. It makes it more calm. You can go over bumps and gently I never made it. Sorry. Astral Tunes. This was big. This was a cassette music deck that you held against your chest. Who skied with one? Oh, you did everything here, man. Sneeze and it worked, right? It worked. Yeah.
I also had a video pack. I had a VHS in a backpack with a camera, so you could go film yourself before they ever had camcorders.
And
We actually rented them on Vail Mountain.
the rhythm method. So you can ski with these down the hill. Those were Astral Tunes. There's even a website for Astral Tunes. Then, now, everybody, oh yeah, of course. Everybody had these. Bota bags. What was the thing that ruined Bota bags? Legal weed. People say, why do I want to drink wine to get high? I could just smoke on the chairlift. Ooh, not allowed. But Bota bags were pretty big. Everybody had Bota bags back then. And it relates to, it came from water skins. The Basque used to use it all the time. Taos had martini trees. If you were lucky enough to ski Taos and you found a martini tree, you would have ice cold martinis on the hill. Think about the insurance liability on that one. It's mentioned in The Sun Also Rises, and as I say, it was probably replaced by weed. Here's a boot. I've actually skied in this. Nava boot binding system. What they were trying to do is saying ski boots are uncomfortable, so we're going to give you a soft boot. But we know it's soft, so we're going to make it a little harder by putting this brace against it. You could ski on it. It was made by an Italian helmet manufacturer called Nava. Warren Miller said, they tried to make a better mousetrap for years in this country, but it turned into a ski boot. It's not a better mousetrap. How about this? These are still out there. You'd still see these from time to time. Who needs skis when you've got slippery boots? And that's the theory behind sled dogs. Oh, it's just, yes. Can you ski in them? Yes. Is it a novelty? Oh, yeah. Big time. I just saw a pair of ski poles that you could put alcohol in. I saw them in Kemosabe just 2 hours ago for $600. A lot less. So if you so badly need to drink alcohol and don't want to carry a bota bag, put in your ski pole, which isn't to say how that's going to affect the weight as you get more and more sloshed on the way down. You may remember jet sticks. The jet sticks, well, it helped you do jet turns, but at the expense of your legs. Then we had, of course, the two-handed snow scooter. This is just, we never saw this again. So now you go to the store and you pay $160 for a pair of Hestra gloves. Are you going to wipe your nose on those? 160? No. You get the snot spot and you put it on your glove. These are products that people thought they were going to make a killing on. You just don't see it. Winnie Jones at Rafi, she created this. These are tinkle tabs. These are for women that wear a one-piece suit like that Sevis outfit that my wife worked on back in the day. You could go to the bathroom by folding it behind you, and so your $600 outfit didn't hit the floor of the bathroom. Those are called tinkle tabs. So we had that product. So now it seems that people in the ski industry, or actually people outside the industry who think they have a better idea for skiers, all think they're Thomas Edison. And they start to come out with these products that are going to make a killing, and with what I call get rich slow. So examples of that. This is on the market now. These are boot caps for $60 a pair. So you put this on the toe of your boot, and I'm reading the reviews on this. Does it work? Falls off. How about falling off? Which it does, which the company will replace apparently. But $60. How about getting better socks? I think. How about this product? Oh, ski tips. Okay, what this is, you've got your $160 Hestra glove. Now cover that with this stretchy map of the ski area that you're at. Okay, so if you put that on, you put one on for Vail, and you're looking at the front of the mountain. I don't know. Do you turn over to see back bowls? You'll see this out there. You'll see it there. Okay, I hate to break it to you, but there's such a thing as e-skis, e-skis, e-skis. Okay, these are $3,000. They're a electric track that you put on the base of skis. I don't think you can use your own skis, but it's an electric track. So you can go on a cross-country trail without any effort. The last thing people want to see. And we were down at the Vail Nordic Center, and the guy tried it. Tim tried it, and it was fun, he said. I said, would you ever use it on your Nordic Center? He said, no way. No way. And in some cases, the ski patrol are using it to get to accident scenes, but for $3,000, I'm not so sure about this product. In his right hand is the controller to go faster. So you're not skiing. It's like you're on a motorcycle. You're on an e-bike. And we'll see how